All right, good evening, y'all. Good night. Well, actually, it's good morning now. Um, so I just had a quick thought while I'm out here walking around. I'm on my second patrol, and I was just thinking about something. I know I'm gonna probably get what few viewers I do get on this channel. I don't get very many viewers or people to talk to on this channel a lot, but I'm going to still put my ideas and opinions out there anyway because on some level I do believe that it has some effect on the collective or just people that think like me in general. So, and again, I know that me saying this is going to get lots of negative views, which I already have. People look at me in a very negative way because of how I think and how I express myself. And I still don't give a shit. I don't care. It is what it is. But so I was thinking that I feel like. Well, let me first say this. Let me first, before I just make that statement. Back in the day, when a man and woman used to be together in a real committed relationship, back when dating was really dating and relationships were actually real committed relationships, people had morals. They had more of a sense of integrity, and society in general also did too. Generally speaking, right? The standard of how you treat a person with dignity and respect was a lot higher back then. There was a sense of integrity when it came to a marriage and dating and relationships. Now, don't get me wrong. People, sorry, I'm trying to scan these scan points. I got to scan this right here. But anyway, people still did dirt back then. I'm not saying that things were better or perfect when it came to marriage back then. There were still people that did. And y'all, there's always been a class of men and women that have always been kind of, promiscuous, kind of like this kind of guy around. They always have been kind of like the cliche kind of term for like, he's a dog, the kind of guy that was, always kind of running around and cheating on his lady. Those archetypes of men and women have always existed. So I'm not going to sit here and act like these things have not always been. Is somewhere along the way, apparently, this has become more of a widespread thing, and everybody, for whatever reason, in my opinion, it's social engineering. It's a very direct attempt to directly break the structure of a strong family unit where you end up with a bunch of single mothers and without a direct male influence in that household, where the child is being raised in like an unbalanced atmosphere, meaning like the kids are basically being raised with only a male energy, or fuck was that? I'm hearing shit. Oh, somebody down there. Okay. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Somebody's still here. Not normally anyone here this late, but there is someone here. What the fuck was that? Oh boy. I was hearing stuff. Apparently, I'm not. How's it going? I was like, who was that? I didn't know somebody was still here.
That's my
Okay, yeah. He said,
yeah, I probably have met you. I'm playing direct.
okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I have CFO. Yeah, I gotta scrub this floor.
I got you. All right.
But I can't do it when the workers are here because they're just dirt.
Yeah, all that dirt out here. Yeah, I got you. All right, yeah. Normally there's not really anyone here this time of night, but I guess he's staying over to kind of clean things up. He has some, big corporate person coming from Japan, according to him. So, yeah, I was like, what the hell? But anyway, back to the video. So, I forget where I was even at in the video. I don't know if I just wanted to be kind of, careful because you never know. Sometimes you get people out here that see you talking on your phone. You don't know if there's some type of, manager or you never know, CEO. So I kind of just stopped talking because you'd be surprised. Sometimes people will just complain about some of the dumbest stuff, but that's why I just kind of normally they don't really give a shit, but sometimes you'd be surprised. Like people, they'll, I seen some guy out there on his phone, on camera making it. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So I typically don't really have any interaction as I work on third shift at this job, but I haven't really, the only person I really deal with, at least on my shift, is when I arrive here at the beginning of my shift is the person leaving, the other officer. And then when I leave here in the morning time, the person I'm relieving, or the person that's relieving me, meaning the person that's going to come in and work after I leave. So that's the only time typically I see anybody out here. So, I don't really have to deal with anybody out here, while I'm working. But, after they open up the actual plant, I'm not really sure, how much that's going to change, because I'm not really sure, what the schedule is going to be. I'm pretty sure that I'll probably be seeing more people, while I actually, work, because they'll be having employees here. I'm assuming that they'll be having like a third shift. So I'll probably be seeing more people here. I'm not exactly sure how busy it'll be, but I'm just going to assume that it'll be busy enough to actually, see and deal with people on a regular basis. So yeah, probably won't be much different, but it'll probably be a little bit busier. I'll probably be having more truck shipments come in. Might have to actually start signing in trucks and signing out trucks on a regular basis, which is fine. I've done that before at other sites. So, I don't mind doing a little extra work. It's fine. There's no problem. But, main point is I wasn't expecting to see him here, which I mean, I wasn't doing that wrong, you know. I'm just doing my second patrol route. But again, that's why I always try to be aware that, you know, there's always somebody watching. There's cameras out here. And again, I'm not doing that wrong. I'm just walking around with my camera. So, I mean, there's no traffic or anything out here. So I'm not really doing nothing wrong. It's just, again, you never know. People might sometimes like, I saw this guy out there with his phone making video. You know, there's some people out there. It's very rare, but some people just look for something to complain about. That does happen sometimes. So anyway, back to the video. So like I was saying, you know, there's always been a group of people, of men and women, that have always been kind of had promiscuous ways, kind of what some people would classify as player mentality, scandalous, cheater, you know, promiscuous, the dog archetype of men that just wants to sleep and, you know, with everything that has two legs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those types of men and women have always existed since the beginning of, you know, modern human culture, you know, and they probably always will, you know? But again, it almost seems like it's somehow, for whatever reason, kind of becoming normal for everybody to kind of adopt that ideology and mindset when it comes to romance and relationships. And in my opinion, that's what's changed, and that's what's changing. It's kind of like everybody. First it was, you know, I noticed that homosexuality was starting to be heavily promoted. So there was like a big boost in, like, you know, homosexual. And again, y'all, I'm not against gay people. Never have been, never will be. But what I have an issue is when it's like, when it starts to kind of turn into this thing of, it starts to be promoted as like, you should try this too, or you should do this, or you should join in with us. You know what I'm saying? When it starts to kind of be promoted, you know, it's like the normal thing. Well, this is the normal thing to do now. Now it's normal for everybody to be gay, you know, and, you know, if you're a man and you want to date a woman, well, that's old fashioned. You know, everybody's dating, or they're trans now. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's promoted now to, you know, cut your dick off, and, you should want to try something different. And if you don't want to, then you're homophobic. You know what I'm saying? And again, y'all, do not misinterpret what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with gay people, trans people. I don't hate them. I honestly, I don't even really care. The only time I have an issue is when it's like, when that lifestyle starts to become promoted and up to a point to where it's making young people and just people in general feel like this is the only way to be now, or like this way is actually better than being with a man, being with a woman. You know, it's like, oh no, that's the old way. Like, that's when I start to have an issue, you know, or when, you know, it starts to be promoted to young children, like, oh no, see, you know, back in the old days, you know, a man and a woman used to date, but now the new thing is, a normal thing to do is, you know, have two mommies or two daddies, you know, like, that's when it's like, okay, y'all clearly are promoting this to an extent to where you are trying to make this more of a thing than a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you want to do that, do that. But don't tell my kid, if I have one that's in school, that he should cut his dick off or think about transitioning from his natural born universal cosmic natural biological form of a man in a male body, that he should actually undo that and then make himself into a woman when he was naturally born that way. Well, maybe you're not really a boy. Maybe you were supposed to be a woman. How the like, that's when I started having a problem. Again, if you want to do that, if you want to cut your dick off and make it a vagina, do that. If that's what you really think you should do. Or if you're a woman, if you want to take hormones and, I don't know how that works, but if you want to take hormones and grow a beard and you're a woman, do that. If that's what makes you happy, ain't none of my business. That's your life. But I don't think we should be telling young kids that you might want to be a man, little Jill or Jackie. You probably should have had a penis, even though you were born a natural biological woman. Like, that's my issue. That's where I kind of start to say, what are we doing here? Clearly, you were born out of the womb with a vagina. If you want to make that decision as you get older and, you decide that's what you want to do, hey, more power to you. You're a sovereign being. If that's what you want to do, just understand you can't undo it. But if that's what you want to do, by all means, knock yourself out. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I kind of got off topic. I tend to do that a lot. But getting back to the main part, kind of lost myself a little bit. I think I was saying how first it was a fad of, everybody was kind of, becoming homosexual. I've seen a large increase in lesbians, and it just seemed like a lot of the women started becoming lesbians. That was a big, it was almost this lots of women, for whatever reason, decided that they want to date women, because apparently men were controlling, and somebody convinced young women and old women that, men were controlling and men were just these, possessive creatures that just wanted to control women and just tell them what to do and what they couldn't do. And basically just, so women decided that, well, if I date a woman, women aren't like that. When women found out that women can also be possessive and controlling and, insecure, basically all the things that supposedly turn women off from men. This is not a gender thing, right? Even like nowadays, you even have women basically complaining about women, saying that, women are very, very hard to deal with. Women are saying this. Lots of women that were all about, being lesbians and, this is the way to go, and we don't need men, we'll just date, other women. And women are also finding out that the same issues that men were complaining about, or dealing with rather, that they're dealing with those same things. Because even when there's two women, one woman is going to gravitate towards the masculine energy or role in that relationship. So whichever woman in the relationship, takes on the masculine role, she's being treated like a male by the other women. I know it's insane, it's nuts, but even the women are saying, basically, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. So we can now see that this is not just a thing where, men are the problem, or men, I see so many people talk about how the divine feminine needs to be protected and from the toxic masculine men, and now there has always been men and women that have had a level of toxicity, But it just seems like this narrative of, you know, men are just nothing but controlling and possessive creatures that want to just control and dominate all women. And I'm just like, I don't understand where this is coming from. Again, are there possessive and controlling men? Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. But there's also possessive and controlling and manipulative women as well. But it's like society, on a broad societal basis, the narrative seems to be that men are toxic for being men. Being a real natural man is now seen as being possessive, controlling, insecure, manipulative, narcissist. If a man sees a woman dressing provocatively, basically in a way that she's basically being pretty obvious about the fact that she wants other men to look at her in a very sexual way, as her boyfriend or husband, if I say something, that means I'm being controlling, insecure, manipulative, narcissistic. If I say so, as her man, I better not say anything. If I do, that means that I'm insecure, right? But a man that sees the person that he's with is representing herself in a very disrespectful way is also basically representing him in a very disrespectful way. Because if you go out in public dressed like you looking for a nigga, basically, you looking for male attention, you're going to get male attention. And if those guys that are giving you male attention, like I'll put it this way, a man could look at a woman simply by how she's dressed, and he can almost instantly know that she's wanting to either one, get fucked or get sexual attention. And they can also tell if she lets him know that she is in a relationship or married. They can also tell that she's not really serious or doesn't respect her relationship or marriage or partner, whatever you want to call it. So, and that makes you, her partner, look bad. Because if she is basically openly saying that, I don't give a fuck about this dude, I'm doing me, but when y'all are together, y'all are looking like y'all are this happy couple, it makes you look like a jackass. This is why it matters how your woman presents herself to the world. Now, I'm not saying she can't dress feminine and attractive, but when you start, all right, so my is, you can say I don't care, old fashioned, I don't care. You know, I'm not going to adjust my morals to fit a very corrupt mentality and world. You know, I'm not going to change my morals to fit the morals of a lost world. You know, I'm not going to do it. But when I say a woman that dresses in a promiscuous way, I mean, if your girl, your wife, your woman is going out with her titties, you know what I'm saying, just out there, you know what I'm saying. Some women have curves and they can't really help it, but you know when your woman is like, there's a difference between a curvy woman and a woman that's curvy and she's making her shit more curvy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to see my ass opposed to just, yeah, I got an ass, but I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? You know the difference. You know the difference. It's certain pants and clothes that women wear that they fit their figure a certain way to where they attract the attention to that body part in a certain way on purpose. Again, I understand that there's some women that can't help that they just curvy, which is great. That's wonderful. But then there's other women, and y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If your woman is doing that and making a very conscious effort to attracting male attention in a sexual way, like that's what I'm talking about. You know, now granted, some women, if they're attractive, they're going to attract male attention regardless. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're, you know, consciously trying to be dressed promiscuously. Yeah, sure, I get that. That's a good point. They will attract, you know, if they're attractive. Sure, I get that. But then there's some again that will intentionally attract it. You know what I'm saying? Where they got the titties hanging out, and you know, it's like, I want you to see these. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see these. Like if you see me, you're gonna see these first. Like that type of thing. Like that's what I'm talking about. And again, you really can't say these types of things without people, oh, he's insecure, or, you know, it's just, they're going to always say like the same excuses. Oh, you know, I just dress in a way that, you know, makes me feel confident. And, you know, if you can't deal with me, and all the attention, all these gaslighting things to make it seem like the man is just, you know, insecure and he can't handle with being with an attractive. They say all these things. It's all cap. It's all cap. All women literally do and say the same exact thing. What's up, man? What's up, Lucas? Yeah, I just seen you just now. I was talking about, so this is going to be a very controversial topic, but I was talking about, yeah, I got one viewer, you. Appreciate you being here. I was just talking about, you know, men and women and how, well, I hadn't gotten to that part of the actual conversation yet. But what I was just saying just now was when women dress in a provocative way, it basically makes the man that they're with look bad because they're basically intentionally attracting, you know, sexual attention in a provocative way. And I was just saying how there's a difference between a woman that dresses in a way. Do you use social? Yeah, I do. I use Facebook. I use Instagram. And I just reactivated my TikTok. I want to use that for some advertising because I'm building a clothing brand. So I just now reactivated that platform on my phone. So yes, I do have social media. Yeah. Social media. My brand is called Infinite Nature. Do you use any, what is this job? I'm a security guard. I do security. I'm on patrol right now, walking around. Yes, I was talking about, you know, how it affects, why it's important, you know, how a woman presents herself, or a man at that matter, you know, women and men, both women and men, you know, why it matters. And, you know, basically, I kind of lost my thought just now, but get where I was at. I was basically talking about how, you know, when women dress a certain way, it draws certain attention, and it can make men look bad when women, their partner, their wife, presents themselves in a certain type of way. And a lot of times people will make it seem like, or women for that matter, will make it seem like if, you know, a man is a man and he's in his masculine energy and he speaks his mind, when his partner is presenting herself in a way where she's basically intentionally trying to attract male attention, he's automatically called, you know, insecure, he's controlling, he's possessive, when that is a very masculine thing to do. You know, if your woman And again, I understand that they are insecure men do exist. Possessive men do exist. Um, Possessive women do exist. Insecure women do exist. Both on both sides, men and women. But my point is now, and actually speaks up and says, why are you going to the supermarket with your titties out? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you trying to catch? You know what I'm saying? Are you going fishing for like another nigga? Like, what's going on? If he says that, the modern thing for women to say is, oh, he's insecure, or he's trying to control how I dress. Oh, I just like to dress like this. And it's like, yeah, but why would you go out intentionally dress in a way? Now, again, some women will draw male attention either way, rather they're dressed provocatively or not. I understand that. I get that. If she's attractive, she will get men to look at her and approach her, sure, no doubt. But I'm saying the women that go the extra mile and basically are inviting that information, that attention. And when her partner says something, oh, you're acting insecure. You can't deal with men looking at me. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That happens a lot in modern relationships. And again, women say that they want masculine men, but a masculine man is going to say something when he notices that kind of thing going on. It doesn't mean that he's being insecure. It doesn't. Just like if somebody is basically being rude and disrespecting your relationship, if your woman is out and you're with her, again, men are going to approach because they don't know if she's single or not. That's normal, no problem. But if you're with your woman, clearly, and it's normal, and it's very obvious that she's with, her partner, and somebody comes along and says, hey, do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, yeah, him. And a person goes or says something like, well, can you have friends? She told you she's got she with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a normal, I'm her boyfriend. And you're going to be like, oh, well, can you have friends? At that point, it's very obvious that the dude that's doing it, he's making it known that he doesn't give a fuck and he wants smoke, basically. To me, that's an outright disrespectful thing to do. If you're out with your girl or your man and some girl or guy is like, well, I know you're in a relationship, but can you have friends? In other words, can we like do some like sneaky link type shit while your partner's standing right there? At that point, yeah, it's like, okay, fuck this nigga. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the masculine thing to do is, what do you think? But a lot of times women will go, oh, well, he was just being nice, or he was just, you know what I'm saying? They'll kind of make it seem like, you're being insecure because he was just asking, can she have friends? Like, shit like that's what I'm talking about. There is a lack of respect for, you've never kissed a woman. Oh, dang, bro. Sorry to hear that. Is it by choice, or is it just you don't? How old are you? If you don't mind me asking. How old are you? Yeah, man. I hope you get to, or is it just something that you don't want to do? Like, do you want to have I think he signed off. Never mind. I think Lucas is going. Well, if you come back, I wanted to ask you, Lucas, is that by choice, or is it because you never really wanted to, or you never got a chance to? My signal is kind of sketchy out here, y'all, so I'm not sure if that's why he got disconnected or not. But my question for Lucas is, he said he's 25 and he's never kissed a woman. think he went away. My question was for Lucas: is that because you didn't want to, or because you just didn't get an opportunity to, or you never really made that kind of romantic connection? I'm just curious. I don't want to get too personal, but I was just wondering. If you come back on here, that's my question. But anyway, like I was saying, yeah, so a lot of times men are basically attacked for being having masculine behaviors, and a lot of times now it's called toxic masculinity, or there's this narrative that he's acting insecurely or acting possessive, or any of those kind of phrases or thoughts when it comes to a man just being a natural man. Men are supposed to be have some level of being territorial. If some guy is basically making it known that he wants to approach your partner in a romantic way, you're supposed to have a problem with that. And if your girl has a problem with you having a problem with other men approaching her in a romantic or sexual way, then that tells you right there that she ain't shit. Seriously, if your girl acts like you're being insecure when another man is being disrespectful and basically letting you know that he doesn't care that you're her dude and she's with you, and says, well, can she have friends? He's basically telling you, fuck you to your face. And basically telling you that I will fuck your bitch. That's basically guy language for, okay, I'll still fuck her, basically. That's basically what he's saying. If a guy has the audacity and the balls to ask your girl in front of you if they can be friends, when she clearly just said that she has a boyfriend or a man or she's married, that you already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? He's basically directly telling you to your face without saying it in those words, fuck you, basically. This is the type of time a lot of dudes are on nowadays. It didn't used to be like this. Back in the day, like, people used to have some level of respect. I mean, guys would still try to kind of take other dudes' girls, but there used to be more dignity when it came to people knowing that, okay, she's taken. You know what I'm saying? They would still kind of shoot their shot and see if she would give. Men have always kind of wanted to test a woman's loyalty toward her partner to some extent. But once she kind of made it known that, no, I'm taken, I got a man, at some point, you know what I'm saying, they were like, all right, she good. Like, she got her dude. She's not, in other words, she knows that she's loyal. You know what I'm saying? And that was more normal back then. People respected relationships more than they do now. And my issue is, again, a lot of people, they don't respect relationships or even marriages. But back to the main part of the video. So I just said how, homosexuality became a really common thing. And then it went from that to now everybody is trying to basically be, it's the new thing now is polygamy. Everybody is promoting the, polygamous lifestyle, and, oh yeah, you should have more than one partner and more than one wife. And, let's justify it by saying in the Bible, everyone had multiple wives. The way that they justify now is everyone's talking about how, yeah, people had multiple wives in the biblical times, and, you need more than one wife and more than one husband to keep you happy. Everybody is promoting this polygamous lifestyle. It's like, this is the way to be. This is a normal lifestyle. This is what you should be trying to be. Right? So somewhere along the way, one man and one woman under one roof, somebody said or convinced everybody that there was something wrong with that system. So now the normal thing is women or men living separately, raising children in separate households. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, how is that working out for us? How is that working out? What I do is I look at society, I look at how the youth are, I look at how, you know, just young people in general, as a whole, generally speaking, act in society. Now that, single family households are so normalized. And what you see is very disrespectful children. I'm seeing a rise in very feminine men that act in a very feminine way, women that act in a very masculine way. I see a horrible decline in respect and when it comes to marriage and relationships. Nobody respects relationships anymore. Nobody respects marriage. Um, just an overall general lack of discipline in anything and everything. No accountability. And I also notice women have this very disrespectful, arrogant attitude towards the men that they do deal with. Because for whatever reason, somebody convinced women as a whole that men are controlling and possessive, and we don't need men. So now, like, there's like this, narrative of, oh, well, men are just, we don't need them. And, it's an issue with men being men. And when we date them, all they want to do is just control us and tell us what to do. So I'm wrong because I set boundaries and things that are not acceptable between me and the girl I date or I'm married to. I set boundaries as far as, like, what is acceptable or what is respectful, what's not respectful. So as a man, to be a secure man in a relationship, I have to basically be okay with everything, even though I'm not. And the moment I say something, I'm called disrespectful, insecure, possessive, and controlling. Again, as a man, if you're in a committed relationship, you're supposed to be territorial. That's part of being a man, is when somebody tries to come and approach your partner. If y'all have been in a committed relationship or marriage, you're supposed to be like, hey man, this is my woman, this is my wife. You know what I'm saying? Now this is my wife, okay, so go ahead, step off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to do that. That also comes with being a provider and protector, all that kind of stuff. That comes with that. It's almost like men are expected to basically do all the things that are beneficial to women, like being a provider and protector. But when it comes to being territorial, in a way, kind of, you can say, like, marking your territory, so to speak, oh, now you're being insecure. Now you're being possessive. But I wasn't being possessive when I was providing and protecting. You see what I'm saying? You see the imbalance in all that thinking? So, again, masculine qualities and traits men are being made to feel like those masculine qualities are toxic and a form of insecurity. And women are also being convinced that a man that is masculine in those ways is not a real man, and he's just controlling them and holding them down and just basically being overbearing. And the norm has become, well, again, the norm has become this. It went from a explosion of homosexual relationships to this explosion of polygamy becoming the new normal way to date and the normal way to, have any kind of romantic interaction because apparently, you know, having one person being committed to one person is not enough. Now, it's just crazy that, one person in a relationship used to be normal, but now social media has promoted polygamy as, well, everybody should be polygamous. Everybody should date around. Everybody should be swinging. Everybody should be fucking everybody. And the outcome that I see from that is nobody is able to connect on a deeper level. Men and women are not able to form a strong connection and bond anymore. You ever wonder why it just seems like nobody really dates now more than maybe a year, maybe? The first argument, the first disagreement, oh, well, I'm done. Nobody wants to actually work things because there's no real connection anymore. There's no connection. Nobody is really able to connect on a deeper level. Nobody's really able to form that true bond with one another the way that they used to when man and woman were more committed, more loyal to one person. The moment that the moment that hookup culture became so popular and normalized was when, in my opinion, men and women stopped having the ability to connect on a deeper, even a more spiritual level. Because if you just look around, you can see that men and women, they're not really nobody can stay committed. Marriages don't last. Like, marriage used to be the ultimate level of, we are, you know what I'm saying? We are one. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like marriage means nothing now. Marriage is just a transactional thing now. Everything is transactional now. So my solution is, because there are people out here that still are wanting to be committed to one person, whether it's married on paper or just married spiritually. There are people out here that still want to be committed and connected and have that, union to one person. And my solution is, and this is going to come off very harsh and bad probably, but I feel like, number one, we should bring back public shaming. Let me explain. Back in the day, if you had a family, if you were in a relationship, committed relationship or marriage, if you stepped out on your woman, on your wife, your husband, it was a huge thing. It was a huge thing. It was like, no, you're wrong for doing that. People don't have any shame anymore. People don't have no sense of morality anymore. Cheating has become so popular and normal that when they do it, people don't even believe that they're doing anything wrong. You have women out here that are cheating on their husbands like it's nothing. And they know that as long as there's no evidence, they can do whatever they want. Because now, according to this marriage, if he does something and says she wants a divorce, she can basically try to get him for half of his money or take the house, whatever, and leave him in a very bad place financially. So in a way, women kind of use the marriage as a gun to get over and do whatever they want in the marriage, because she can threaten to take everything from him if he doesn't have a prenup. And this is or a lot of times women will just get with somebody that's really well off or rich, and they will get with him just because they want to take that man for everything he has worked hard for. So a lot of marriages are built on that type of dynamic and deception. So again, my opinion is, my solution is, bring back public shaming. Public shaming is when someone does this. As a society, we should not be like, oh yeah, you go girl. Oh yeah, man, you fucking these hoes, and like, no, nah, bro, you wrong. That's your wife. You married her. She has your kids. You're wrong. I don't support that. A lot of times, people, and they may still not care. That's fine. But when you have an entire society that basically condones this kind of behavior and acts like it's normal, then it kind of starts to spread and become normal, right? So I feel like if someone is being promiscuous, stepping out on their partner, their husband, that you should make them feel bad about it. And if they don't, they just don't. But it should not be, cheating should not be as normalized and popular as it is. My second solution is people that want to live that kind of lifestyle, that want to live that kind of life, meaning the life of, being promiscuous and sleeping around. Those people should separate from the people that are looking to be committed to one person. Stop intermingling with people that want to find one person. Stop deceiving people that are looking for something forever, and when you want to just kind of sleep around. Like, let them go off with their own society of people that want to sleep around and be promiscuous and, have orgies and threesomes and whatever else they do. Let them go be with their kind. If that's the life you want to live, it's your life. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying that if that's what you want to do, leave the people like that aren't into that lifestyle to themselves. The problem is, a lot of times you have people that are mixing with people that are looking for something real and long lasting, and they're tricking people into believing that they want the same thing when they know that they don't. They're either looking for a come up financially, a bag. In other words, women are looking for some type of, when they marry somebody rich, some kind of athlete or, billionaire or something, or they just want to kind of just play games and entertain multiple men while making it seem like they're for that one person, right? It's like, no, leave the people. If you want to sleep around and, live the polygamy lifestyle and, live the swinger, like go. I'm not, again, go do that, live that lifestyle. If that's what you want to do, I'm not trying to control nobody and tell nobody how to live and, you shouldn't do this. But everybody doesn't want to do that. So go be with your kind. Go be with the kind that wants to sleep around and risk getting diseases and risk having pregnancy by not knowing who the father is. Like, go be amongst your people. That's my solution. And again, people that get with people that's wanting something real, they should be shamed. They should be made to feel like horrible, because cheating is never a mistake. It takes lots of conscious planning, and it takes a lot to cheat. You have lots and lots of chances to stop it, and cheating normally rarely ever happens once. So cheating is never just an accident. It's a very conscious thing. You're very aware of what you're doing. You have to do a lot of lying, manipulating, and gaslighting to do it. It takes a lot to fuck somebody while you're with somebody else that you supposedly love. You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy this whole, oh, well, no, it never just happens. It takes a lot. There's a lot of steps, a lot of deception in cheating. You know, anyone that says, oh, it was a mistake, it just had bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit. You know? So, yes, I absolutely believe in, you know, public shaming in the sense of, you know, letting people know who this person is. Like, if you see this person, this is what she did. I believe in that. Like, your reputation should be seen and you should be known to be a person that cheats and lies, you know, on your partner. So whenever somebody sees you, they know what type of person you are. The problem is a lot of people are getting with these people and they don't know what they've done and what they're capable of until it's actually done. They're marrying these people. They're dating these people. If a lot of men knew what type of women this was, they would have never even gotten involved with it. If they knew their past, they would have never gotten involved with some of these types of women. So yes, I 100%, you know, agree with public shaming if they're with someone that is not, you know, with that lifestyle. Now, if you're with that lifestyle and y'all both want to live that lifestyle, then that's y'all business. I'm talking about shaming when you are with somebody that was faithful to you, was good to you, did all the right things as a man, protected, provided. You know what I'm saying? Never cheated, never lied, you know, held his responsibilities down as a man, and then you stepped out and did that. That's when I feel like public shaming is very much justified. So people know, like, you know, Becky, Jill, whatever the fuck her name is, she's a fucking cheater. If you date this woman, she's going to cheat on you. You need to know what you're dealing with. And if you're a cheater like her, then y'all should be together. Let the cheaters be with the cheaters. Let the promiscuous people, the people that sleep around, let those people go amongst themselves and live that lifestyle amongst themselves and risk sexual STDs and, unknown pregnant. Let them be with their kind. Since they love that lifestyle so much, they have every freedom to live it. No one's trying to tell you shouldn't be a swinger or have orgies. No, knock yourself out. Just whatever consequences come with that, you and your kind have to live with it. Leave the people that don't want nothing to do with that lifestyle to themselves. Like, that's my solution. Stop mixing with people that want something real, long lasting. Stop mixing with people that are actually wanting to build strong families, raise, healthy, whole children. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say. Because the problem is so many people are getting involved with people that don't want the same thing. Lots of men and women are dealing with men or women that just want to sleep around, that want to be, they want to be swingers, they want to be polygamists because it's promoted as, well, this is a normal thing to do now. So I'm not going to make this too much longer, but this is basically my solution to a lot of the things that men are dealing with when it comes to, and women, because it's not just a problem that men have, but I think that the issue is lots of men are getting involved with the wrong kind of women. Um, and so yeah, again, just to kind of clarify my last thoughts. Um, I think that men are people that are looking for something real in this day and age, because again, the whole, you know, committed relationship ideology is kind of almost extinct now, and it's almost seen as something old fashioned and abnormal, because that's the way that the narrative is now. Like, if you want an actual real relationship with commitment, there's something wrong with you. Oh, you have a scarcity mindset if you want to just be limited to one person. When, in my opinion, one relationship with one person is one of the best and most fulfilling kinds of relationships there are. You know, it's just being heavily promoted in hookup culture and polygamy as like, oh no, see, this is what you should do now. But if you just look around in the world, you can see the consequences of everyone trying to do this. Everybody's looking for a relationship, but nobody can form a real connection and bond anymore because everybody's sleeping around. You cannot form a deep connection with someone when you have all these other energies and soul connections attached to you. When you're sleeping with all these men or women on a regular basis, you cannot connect and bond with one person. So people want a connection and they want to bond, but they're doing everything in the opposite direction to actually do that. And people wonder why. Oh, I can't find a good woman. I can't find a good man. It's because you're sleeping around with everybody. It's so fucking common sense. It's so obvious, but people are too goddamn arrogant because they feel like somebody's just trying to control them and tell them about their sexuality and trying to control their, sexual, cravings. It's like, well, listen, you could have great sex with one person. And in my opinion, you could have better sex with one person. Because again, is sex really good if you're not connected to one person, connected to that person? If you don't have any real sense of closeness to that, for me, it's not. For me, it's not. Now, some people may say, well, okay, well, you can lust for somebody and have passionate sex, but it's like, okay, yeah, but it's still not the same though. At some point, in my opinion, sex loses its meaning when there's no real deep connection or bond. That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. This is my opinion. But y'all, if anyone watches this, let me know your opinion. If you feel like, what I said makes sense, or if what I said actually, if y'all agree with anything that I said, or you feel like I'm just being controlling or possessive or whatever, let me know what you think. If people, if we as a society should kind of just, in a way, shun people that are deceptive when it comes to their marriages and their relationships, and kind of be like, no, like, you're wrong, dog. Nah, sis, you wrong. Don't come around me with that deceptive shit. I'm not with that. I don't believe in cheating. Like Jesus said, get away from me. Get out from amongst them. I don't hate you, but I just don't agree with that lifestyle. If that's what you want to do, go be with your people. Respectfully. You know what I'm saying? But I can't rock with you because I know what that does to people. I know what cheating does to somebody. I know it very well. It's a very conscious thing. It's, to me, if you can do that to somebody consciously, you don't have any empathy. You don't have a heart. This is why I'm very passionate about cheating, because I've been very, very psychologically hurt by people that cheated on me that I never thought would. So when it comes to the topic of cheating in relationships and what I see men go through, I'm very, very passionate. I post a lot of content about it on social media. I feel very strongly about it, and I'm not going to stop talking about it because I feel like it's very important, because lots of men and some women have been psychologically damaged by the effects of, cheating and infidelity. And I'm somebody that has a very, very high sense of right and wrong and morality, to where I'm going to speak up for what I believe is right and what's wrong, and call shit out, whether people agree or not. You don't have to agree with me, but the fact that I feel very strongly about it, I see and hear what other men and women go through, the effects of it, the effects that it has on your consciousness, on your soul, the scars that it leaves, the trauma, and you have to just be kind of left with that experience to deal with and just kind of somehow learn how to transmute. I know the damage, lifetimes or whole, it can affect you for the rest of your life. Just one person. And some people are like, oh, everybody, no, everybody doesn't cheat. Everybody like you cheat. Don't say everybody. Everybody don't cheat. People like you cheat. People like you cheat. People like you with no empathy. People like you with no heart. Everybody don't cheat. That's one thing that someone I dated tried to tell me, oh, well, everybody cheats. No, everybody doesn't cheat. That's a lie. Everybody like you cheat. People like you cheat. People like you don't care. And this is the problem. People try to normalize something because they don't want to take accountability and be honest and say, I was wrong. I didn't have to be like that. They would just rather say some, oh, well, everybody cheats. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So again, you can see my passion in this video, and I'm not gonna pretend to not feel strongly about it. Everybody has a right to be as sexual as they want to. Everybody has a right to, explore sexuality in their own way, because we're all sovereign. But what needs to stop is the intermingling of people looking for something, again, long lasting. In other words, what needs to stop is the deception of people that are looking to sleep around, mixing with people that are looking for long lasting, committed connections and relationships. In other words, people wanting real, long lasting, lifelong partnerships and bonds. That intermingling needs to stop, because that's the problem. Be with your kind. You be with your kind, there won't really be these issues, because, it just won't exist. Y'all have your own society, your own taboo ways of being, and people that don't buy with that, they have their own thing. Anyway, I want to end this video here. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all agree with what I'm saying or how you feel about it. Until next time, peace.